Hello, hello, Leo. Welcome to your 2020 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Leo. And before we get started, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that I am going to be doing a tarot pop-up, which will be available to you sometime in December. So if you want to get notified when I make that available, sign up for my newsletter. It's in the description box, or you can go to onyxhealing.com. So I just wanted you guys to know, if you do want tarot options available from me, I would get on my newsletter so you know when those become available. I'll do them from time to time, so just stay up to date on that. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you can get some support throughout 2020 with more videos, more readings, more good stuff from me. And without further ado, I'm going to lay this spread out and then we will get started. Okay, let's start with your oracle cards for 2020. First thing coming up is I consume only my fair share. So, the main thing that is actually coming up when I'm looking at this is being mindful of your consumption of all things. So, when you think about like a diet, if that makes sense, like the way that you eat, whatever that diet is for you, whatever that looks like, everyone has one, you're obviously eating. So you can also look at it as your media diet, your friendship diet, kind of the things you consume and have in your life. The my fair share piece, it really isn't seeming to apply intuitively when I'm looking at this. It really is about the inventory piece of adjusting your diets of all varieties, media diet, friendship diet, actual diet, all of that stuff you're going to want to take stock of in 2020 and adjust accordingly. So there's probably going to be some shifts around that. And then we have anything you want to find, it's out there somewhere. So this is just reflecting on the infinite potential that we all have, the infinite abundance that does exist. That is what's underneath this card and is available to you. So if you want it, it's out there somewhere. You obviously had the idea pop into your mind, and so from that space you can just consider, it's available to me, it exists in some capacity, so I just need to create the nest, create the environment for that to come into my space. Then we have evolve, favor incremental changes over quantum leaps, further maturation may be required to meet your goal, celebrate your new self, honor any grief in releasing the old. I don't know why this isn't focusing, but essentially it seems like you just have a lot going on around your personal evolution, the healing that you're doing, the repairing that you're doing, all of that is really helping you. And then we also have honesty. Be honest, be upfront, be forthright about what it is that you have coming up for you. Be honest about the situations, people, places, things that you have going on in your life, and honesty is going to be the best policy for you. And that's part of your evolution, right? Even if this is making my camera go out of focus, so I'm just going to tilt that so it's not preventing me from focusing on other cards. So just know that honesty is a part of the evolution for you as well. The central energy for you is the devil, temptation, old habits, your shadow. Let's see what the crossing energy is. Ace of Cups. So the remedy, if you will, is giving to yourself. It's self-care. It's that cliche. You have to give yourself the things that you need. And remember, anytime we're focusing on our shadow is basically either our defense mechanisms, the strategies that we had from our wounding, and it comes up in a way that really needs to be addressed and acknowledged in some capacity. So it doesn't mean that you let the shadow, you don't let your internal devil like take the wheel from you, but it needs nurturing, it needs care, it needs TLC, it needs this Ace of Cups in order to soothe and to kind of heal itself. And so I see this as anywhere you're feeling shadows within your own life, or any place that you're feeling like you're slipping into old patterns or unhealthy behaviors, anything like that, you can come from, okay, I see this, I hear this part of myself, I know that this is what needs to be repaired. We don't want to bully that into submission. We don't want to hurt that part of ourselves. We just want to give it a seat at the table and give it what it actually wants, right? So for example, addiction is a good example just because the devil represents temptation. So if your normal coping mechanism is to grab a drink or smoke some pot or whatever, then a lot of the time, if you in particular deal with addiction, there's something underneath that that wants to be addressed, that needs tending to. It's just that the external coping mechanism up to this point has been substance. So that's what I'm getting here, is that you want to look at what's underneath the behavior. It could also be like, I don't know, anything else. It could be overeating, it could be like over consuming things. Again, back to that, oh, that would make sense too with the consume only what is my fair share. That is kind of like if you're over ingesting, if you're kind of being gluttonous in some capacity. Now that makes sense, right? We want to pay attention to, why are we consuming? Why are we shopping? Like whatever behavior is in excess, there's something underneath it that wants to be met, that wants to be nourished, that wants to be healed, that wants to repair, that needs attention and care. And then what you have shifting out is the 10 of Swords. Beautiful. Okay. So this is all about the grief, the loss, the frustration, not being able to give to yourself. Grief, loss, pain, hurt, things not working out, things not going your way, habits that aren't serving you, all of that is being dismantled in 2020. So I see this as like you've kind of had the experience of things either imploding or not going well or not being easy, whatever that was, that's shifted out. And so now you're meeting yourself, all parts of yourself, with a more nurturing side of your being. The oncoming energy is the Hermit. Okay, so lots of solo time. I don't mean this as in avoid all people. No. It's just about really being conscious of yourself, being mindful within your own body, and giving yourself the things that you need. So the Hermit is really good at finding his own light. That's what he models for us. And this is going to be a great time to lean into meditation more, lean into grounding, supporting yourself with the things that you need. Again, that Ace of Cups is really going to be met with this Hermit. The Hermit is just painting a picture of you being able to tune into yourself. And there might be some retreat involved, right? Or there might be some retreat involved in that process, which is okay. You don't want to fight yourself on that. You just kind of want to lean into whatever might need to come up. If you are feeling like, I think I'm needing some downtime, or I'm needing some time and space for myself, these things are okay. Of course, anything in the extreme isn't going to be good, but just keep it in mind that might be something that's a little bit more of a focal point. Now we're going to look at your career, projects, whatever you're working on in 2020, whatever goals you're setting. We have the Six of Cups. So the connections, the people that you already know, the right people, right opportunities, right timing, a lot of this is what's kind of clicking into place in 2020. And so I'm seeing the Six of Cups for you as just trusting the goodness that comes into your life in order to support your goals, support your dreams, support your ambitions. It's supporting all of that for you. And I'm really seeing it as the other element that I would recommend is considering maybe there is something that I'm needing to call in in order to speed up the process of something, or maybe there's something I want to set an intention around in order to get to where I want to go. So maybe there's like another pillar in the situation that you kind of need to click into place. So for example, if you're working on partnership stuff, maybe the missing piece is like a good practitioner to work with. Or if you're working on money, maybe the missing piece is the right training, or another support person, or a financial advisor, or something else. So you can think about like the perspective of it takes a village. That's kind of what I'm getting from the Six of Cups, because it is a very helpful card coming through. And then this is your relationships. Apply this to whatever relationships are important to you. It might be partnership, it might be friendships, platonic relationships, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see what's coming up. Knight of Cups. Really tuning into your emotional state. This is good for you if you're actively looking for partnership. Maybe there's a Knight of Cups, like the archetypal energy of that coming into your space. Otherwise, this is something where you really want to tend to your emotions, as the Ace of Cups suggests, in your relationships, because that's really where you're going to get the reflection from. Is, you know, if you take really good care of yourself, if you validate yourself, if you nurture yourself, you're going to attract those types of friends, you're going to attract that type of partner, you're going to get that reciprocation and reflection. And to clarify it, we have the Queen of Diamonds, so the Queen of Pentacles. Securing your own emotional state is also how you're going to find that elsewhere. If you want a secure emotional experience, you know, the Queen of Wands is just saying, or excuse me, the Queen of Pentacles is just saying that that's something that the path to it is going to come from your emotional world. And that's the main thing that you want to keep in mind. The healing, the reciprocity, the high quality relationships, the connections that come in are going to be a result of the stability that you create for yourself, the work that you do for yourself. It seems that the internal healing, repairing, stability, that's the main focus. And that's going to be what helps speed everything else along. Now, your material world, your money, home, the material plane, for you, we have the Five of Wands. This is problem solving. If you've been on my channel long enough, you know how much I love the Five of Wands. It is my favorite card in tarot. And because of that, I'm seeing the Five of Wands is just like this massive opportunity for you to work out a lot of the bugs in either your money situation, your financial situation, your home situation. You know, if you've been having a lot of blocks and barriers around spaces to live, or the way you're calling in money, all of that stuff is going to be problem solving. It's going to be repairing and fixing in 2020. So this is actually a really good year to work on that. Give some extra attention to that area of your life, and you're going to be surprised by what comes through as a result. Let me clarify this for you. We have the Four of Spades. So don't fight and thrash with all of this. This is the Rest card. So you kind of have to relax into that, relax into the stability, as I've mentioned before, creating that for yourself and pursuing it with confidence, clarity, but also not trying to apply so much force that it sends you into a tailspin, because that's not going to be effective either. So the Five of Wands is saying you're fixing a lot. A lot of this is going to be under construction, which is the best possible situation if you've been feeling some hardship materially. And in your physical world, if that's been really destabilizing, it's saying, okay, breathe into the discomfort, relax, find your internal peace around that. And then the solutions are going to present themselves from a relaxed space, not a frantic space. So the more you can practice that and have confidence in that, the better things will be. The advice for you in 2020 is the Fool. Do things in a new way that you haven't done before. It may feel like you are stepping off a cliff, right? That's the energy of the Fool is, oh my God, am I gonna land? But remember, if you've been doing things a certain way over and over and over and over and over, and it's not yielding the results that you want, then you need to pivot. You need to shift what you're doing, and that is going to be the best possible outcome from that space. So even if it's like a trial and error, that's better than perpetuating the same behavior and the same results and the same thing. So really keep it fresh. If you are used to doing the same thing, mix it up, change it up, experiment, see what else is going to work for you. And that is going to be extraordinarily helpful. Now let's get into the timeline. We have first, second, third, and fourth quarter. Each one of these quarters is about 3 months. Give or take, you know, it's fluid, it's time. But here's the first quarter of 2020 for you. 8 of Swords. Okay, so feeling like there is not total clarity around where you're going or what you're doing. And there's also kind of a lack of permission to see all of the steps or seeing everything that's coming up. So the 8 of Swords is just pushing you to be present. So anytime you get like a blind reference or like a blind card, the way I see that is it pushes you into just being present in the moment rather than frantically concerning yourself with the future. And that is kind of where everything opens up. So the second quarter, we have the 6 of Wands. See, this is where things really start picking up. The pace picks up, things really start speeding along. You might find that there's bigger leaps happen in the second quarter. Remember, you don't want to necessarily pray for big leaps. You don't want to favor quantum leaps over the incremental. Incremental matters more in 2020, as the Evolve card says. But this is the victory card, right? So getting to where you want to go, kind of building that momentum is really, really helpful. The third quarter, 10 of Coins, so stability. This is where I think if you are giving this attention, the financial or material area of your life, it seems like by that third quarter, you're really rooted in stability. So the 10 of Coins is like your legacy, your foundation. You've laid the brick, you've done the heavy lifting. And so the slabs of concrete are down, and now you can start building what you actually want to see come up in your life. So the 10 of Coins is just an exciting card to see here because it's highlighting all of the work that you've put in and all of the efforts having supported you thus far. So just know that there's big payoff there if you're paying attention to it. And then wrapping up 2020, final quarter, we have the 4 of Swords. So again, this is a big reminder, no force. Don't force. That's not going to be a good approach for you. Pushing yourself, trying to fight and scrap and give a ton of energy is not going to be the right approach. And so it's kind of like breathing into your center, like really owning the core of yourself, especially if you do start, building that momentum and you're building. Make sure you don't burn yourself out. So I'm seeing the 4 of Swords more as an advice card. Like, hey, yes, you have a lot of good things going by that third quarter. Yes, there is a lot of stuff that you've already built and secured yourself into. But that doesn't mean that you want to burn the candle at both ends just for the hell of it. You really need to ground yourself in the things that are important to you. You need to continue taking care of yourself. Don't lose this Ace of Cups energy. You don't want to ignore that, because remember, if you get overwhelmed, it's very easy to revert back to the devil, which is the temptation, old behaviors, old habits that no longer serve you. So that's why this is up here saying, chill out, relax, do what's good for you, and that's what's going to help you sustain and maintain that 10 of Coins. All right, let's do a 3-card pick. You're welcome to ask a question, ask for guidance, clarity, support, whatever you're needing. And if you need more time, pause the video. But card number 1, we have 8 of Wands. This is fast-paced, high speed. Is this reflecting to a desire? Do you want overnight success, because that can actually not be good. A lot of the time, if you want things to happen too fast, right, our mind wants us to be ready, but maybe the other circumstances still need to click into place for us to fully receive it. So just, again, pace yourself. Don't forget the things that you need in order to be truly available and ready for the important stuff. So the Eight of Wands is just presenting that reminder. Things might be moving really fast, but again, it's like it's on the way to too fast if you're not careful. But I'm also seeing this as favor the incremental, but you might notice that things are moving a lot faster than you realize. So give yourself credit. It's very hard to evaluate from our own standpoint, but things are moving faster than I think you realize. And then card number 2, we have the Three of Chalices, celebration, happiness, friendship, community. So it seems like there's just good company. Don't forget to take care of yourself, right? That's the big caveat here, is keeping the self-care stuff in the forefront of your mind. That's a very important element to this whole thing. But aside from that, it seems like the company that you attract is going to be high quality. Card number 3, we have the Devil. Watching temptations. That is going to be the big challenge for you, or the thing that you're going to want to keep a close eye on, is old patterns, old behaviors, old systems, old ways of thinking, old. This is just kind of the primitive side, kind of wanting to take over, like, oh, this is the way it's always been done, so that's the way it's going to be. So just acknowledging that, right? Give it a seat at the table. Don't let it grab the wheel from you, though. That's what you want to keep in mind with the Devil. So just know it might be out there, you know, the temptations or the behaviors. So you kind of want to take a step back and get a plan together. Like, instead of doing this old thing, I have these 4 other options. So just give yourself some variety with this, and it'll save you a lot of energy. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget, if you want to know which decks I used in this reading, they are listed in the description box. Don't forget to subscribe so you have more supportive videos throughout your 2020. And don't forget to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising if you haven't already. And if you want to know how to work with me one-on-one, go to onyxhealing.com or check out the description box for all of the fun stuff that I have to offer. And until next time, have a beautiful 2020, everybody, and I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.